Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Talks. And we are here to talk one final time about the legend of the Sea Devils. And this is the stream where you guys who haven't had an opportunity to come on and have your say about the episode to come on and discuss the episode with me. And let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. But before we get into all of that, I just want to say a few things. So I've noticed on social media right now, the other side of this argument that we've been having for the last 5 years are trying to gaslight their subscribers and the followers by saying basically that they knew about all of this, that this show wasn't popular with the mainstream audience and media. We've also got some who have been defending the ratings for the last 5 years, all of a sudden come out and say, well, I can't defend the ratings for Legend of the Sea Devils. But I think these people don't realise, along with the media, yous are actually responsible for what's happened with the show right now, because you weren't like us, right? You didn't have the guts to come out and actually criticise someone who was doing real damage to the show. So to come out all of a sudden now and claim that you knew all of this, I knew this was going to happen anyway. You would try and change the narrative. But the bottom line is that people like myself have called this from day one. Okay? We could see this coming a mile away. You chose to ignore it. You chose to ignore it. Okay? We wouldn't be in this state right now if you guys that had influence within the Doctor Who fandom had actually spoke up instead of worrying about you as our sponsors, worrying about all of this other stuff, right? At the end of the day, who cares if you upset someone at the BBC, right? You want the best version of Doctor Who that you can get, don't you? So that's why I'm different to most people out there. I do not have these sponsors and I don't have these obligations, so I can say what I really mean. Yeah. And I haven't stopped and I never will stop. You know, I don't care about sponsors and any of that or the interviews and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. As I said in the past, it would be nice to be able to get some of these Doctor Who former cast and crew on and interview them. But they just wouldn't come onto the channel because I'm perceived as toxic. But again, the Tasman stands have got their sights set on Tegan and Ace now. Apparently now they're both sapphic companions, apparently. Now, RTD did write an audio where it suggested that Tegan and Nyssa are a couple. But as we know with Ace, yes, she did fall for that one guy. But to these fans, again, the only thing for them is that they obviously represent something that they have gotten behind. And again, if this is the case, Chris Chibnall again is just pandering to this lot. And you think he'd learn his lesson after the low ratings of the latest episode? That should be a warning sign. See what the people on Twitter don't realise, and on all these social media platforms is that the general public themselves are bored, right? The general public don't want to tune into Doctor Who to be preached to about climate change or to be told how bad they are and how we should live our lives better. When we tune into Doctor Who, we tune into Doctor Who to escape from all of the things that are happening in real life. We don't expect to watch Doctor Who and have it hammered over our heads that we're evil people because we won't recycle and we don't care about the environment, you know, all of this. And then on top of that, then you have your scenes like the cancer scene with Graham O'Brien, handled very insensitively, right? Now, all of this, they received the backlash for that as well. And I said this was the time, because even the other side were outraged about it. Some defended it, of course, especially the Whittaker fans. They defended it, but there is no defence for it. But everything about this era has been an absolute shambles. And the Tasman thing is an absolute shambles. It has been handled very, very badly, in my opinion. You don't shoehorn something in like that and then try and try rush the story through because you've only got a certain amount of episodes left. It's disingenuous and it's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. But there's 2 videos up on my Twitter feed, right? Tasman stands recording themselves when all of these moments happen. Yeah. And that's all they care about. And if you even look at their Twitter accounts or there's any social media account out there, right? Are they talking about Legend of the Sea Devils? Are they talking about the episode itself? No. All they're talking about is Tasman, 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 right? They don't give a crap about Doctor Who. And this is why we're in the position we're in. And this is why I've gone down hard on the other people that have influence in this fandom, right? Because it's their responsibility, because they've got the extra voice that we don't have. They should have called this out and they didn't, right? And now it's too late. And now they're trying to change the narrative as if they knew this all along. So why then come after fans and call them not my doctors? Why retweet fans and try get a pile-on going on them because they didn't like this era? Makes no sense. You're trying to gaslight your audience now into and convince them that you were saying this all along. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Because if you were and you were on the same page with us, and even if you didn't like the way we went about it, right, you wouldn't be going and attacking us the way you have for the last few years. Doing hit pieces on YouTube and stuff. Makes no sense, man. Don't be trying to gaslight. I can see right through you. I knew this would happen anyways. Would try to change the narrative. I said it on this channel few streams back. They will try and change this narrative, and you've even got this narrative. If they cast them on, it'll be a bad thing for the show and all of this now. All of a sudden, because they need another female doctor to validate this doctor, right? But nothing will ever validate this doctor and this era because it's being so poorly put together. And that's down to Chris Chibnall, right? And unfortunately for me personally, I don't think Jodie Whittaker made a great doctor either. And I think she could have upped her performance. I'm sick of all these comments, people saying that her performances are great and it's beautiful and all of this. I don't know what you are saying because I'm seeing something completely different. And when I watch her on screen, I'm just totally automatically turned off. I mean, someone actually edited William Hartnell's famous line where he's saying goodbye to Susan, and she's reading the line out. She's reading this speech out, right? And it's so monotone and it's so without feeling. It's startling. It's up on my Twitter page. If you haven't heard it, go and actually listen to it, right? And then you have people in the comments saying, "Oh, this is beautiful. She's brilliant. Oh, the way she delivered the lines." All she's doing is read. You can literally hear her. She's just reading off a page. She's not even putting any emotion or feeling into that line. Anyway, as I said, I do have one person that's already got in touch with me to ask me to come on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them an email now. So as I said, we won't be talking about this episode now after tonight. Everybody that wants to come on and say something tonight will be your opportunity. Because we'll be moving on. There's plenty of other streams that I have lined up that I want to do as well. Robert Payne says, "Good evening," with my new photo. We got the Legend of the Traveling Tardis in the chat as well. Honkler in the chat. PD Rich. Para Productions says, "Hi everyone." It's nice to see some new people in the chat. I think the tide has changed, actually. I'm gonna say something here. I think there's a lot of people that believed all the stuff about me online are finally realizing that everything that's being said about me is a lie. Because I even have people in the comment section telling me to keep up the good work and to never basically back down on what I'm saying. This is the thing, I never will. I never will. See, the thing about me is that I'm uncorruptible. If I won't be swayed by anybody. It doesn't matter what has been done to me in the past or what has been said about me in the past. Still not going to change the way I feel about this era or my opinions on it. And I'm certainly not going to change any of my opinions on Jodie Whittaker either. And I don't apologise for anything I've said over the years because I meant everything I said. She just wasn't the right actress for this role. She was way out of her depth. And that's why we got so. And they're even questioning now, right? Here's the thing: they're even questioning now because after the Tasman storyline, right? And I'll answer the question for you. A lot of you are wondering, including the media, why Chris Chibnall just didn't go with Yaz and and the Doctor in the Tardis, right? I'll tell you why. Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall did not trust Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker doesn't have any screen presence, right? So in order to kind of compensate for that, they brought in three companions. Instead of focusing on the Doctor totally, right? This brand new Doctor, they were able to focus on all the companions and the Doctor. That's why we really got no substance in the character development of each character because they were going from each one. They wouldn't just focus on the Doctor. Remember, this was a new Doctor. The focus should be on the new Doctor. They've just regenerated, but it kind of skipped all of that. We had that in the first episode, and then after that, then it just carried on as if nothing major had happened. Anyway, Marty, I've sent you your email. I'm just going to see there now if there's anybody else. Stick to your guns, Noel. You have been proved right. Look, look. Nobody here, right, including the people that I know that have YouTube channels, nobody here wanted this to happen. Nobody. I didn't want to be sitting here for the past 5 years having to give out and complain about a show that I've grown up with all my life. Right? It's been one of the, I have to be honest, it's been one of the hardest things that I've had to do. But it was necessary because at the time, voices like mine were being drowned out by the influencers on social media. And I was saying that fans like yourselves and me weren't getting the opportunity to have our say. So that's why this channel was already set up, but I never done that with it. And then I decided then, after we found out about all the stuff that was cat, because I was on Facebook at the time complaining about it, and then I said, look, I'm not going to get anywhere on Facebook. Do something with the YouTube channel, and I start doing streams on my phone. Actually, you should see me all set up back in the day. I literally had a mobile phone hanging on something, and I had my earphones in. They were the early streams, and I was talking about all the stuff and all the nonsense interviews that Whittaker was doing, and all the stuff that Chibnall was doing. And then obviously then people were starting to take notice, and people came towards this channel because they knew that, you know, there was someone out there that was saying all the things that they wanted to say. And then before you know it, then I had those people on, and I grew from there. But it was very important. It was very important. And it was necessary. But I want to make one thing clear. Having to do this for the last 5 years has been horrible. All I've ever wanted is the best for Doctor Who. And I feel as a fan, I'm very protective of it. And this is what these other fans will never understand. We're very protective and emotionally involved with this show. And that's something that they're not and never will be. Right? And that's the difference between the two sets of fans. They don't understand our feelings towards it. They don't understand our feelings towards everything that's been done with it. It doesn't register with them because they're cold-hearted people anyway. You see the way they go on social media. They're cold-hearted. They don't care. And no fan, and this is another thing as well that I didn't like, and I'll answer this one as well. You know, we got, why didn't you just leave the fandom? Why should we have to leave the fandom? Why should we have to leave a show that we grew up with? Chris Chibnall's job was a simple one, right? He had the tagline, space for all, right? And then he had this inclusion and diversity thing, right? That's what Doctor Who was supposed to be about. So surely if it's inclusion for all, the show should have catered to everybody. But it didn't, you see. It skewed itself. It put itself in this little category, right? And went along there for 5 years. And this is why we've got the ratings we've got now. We've been saying it all along. Nobody listened to us. Instead of listening to us, you decided to attack us. You decided to hate us. Apparently, I'm the leader. They're not my doctors and all of this rubbish I was getting. Right? It was a bloody hashtag. Nobody uses it on this side anymore because, as I said, a radical element attached themselves to it. We've disassociated ourselves with that hashtags. But yeah, I'm the leader of the Not My Doctors apparently, and I rally people and I have this secret army of people that go around harassing and bullying people. Apparently, this is all the stuff that's being said about me over the years. Of course, every single bit of it is untrue. But there you go. That's just the fandom for you nowadays. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you what's going on. As I said, they're trying to gaslight their audience now into thinking that they said this all along. They didn't. They didn't. Because if they did, they wouldn't have been attacking us the way they've been attacking us. They would have been agreeing with us. So don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight your followers or your audience, because we all know who you are. You are responsible, just like the people out there, the media, and everybody else that didn't have the guts or the balls to come out and say it as it was about this show. And now we're at the situation where I believe less than 2 million people watched Legend of the Sea Devils, because that 2.2 million figure is overnight. By the way, I am hearing this excuse. Well, it was up against Britain's Got Talent. It got beaten by the bloody Antiques Roadshow, right? A show that is for an older audience. It was beaten by the Antiques Roadshow. That would never happen in any reality. Okay? And by the way, as I saying that it was the bank holiday Easter weekend. Oh, it was the Easter weekend. Nobody was watching. Well, then explain how 5 million people were tuning into Britain's Got Talent, the family show. Right? Don't be giving me our bull. Right? The bottom line is after Eve of the Daleks, fans they just decided that was it. Right? A lot of fans checked out a long time before that. But whatever audience you had left checked out after Flux anyway, the end of Flux. And then Eve of the Daleks then compounded that. And the Legend of the Sea Devils now has even compounded that even further. So don't be giving me all of that, right? At the end of the day, this show is struggling because it's crap. It's boring, right? The writing is atrocious. The acting is atrocious, right? Some of the storylines are absolutely stupid, if there is even a storyline. This is the Chris Chibnall era for you. Poorly edited, poorly put together, plot holes galore, and yous all supported it. And then yous are all like turning around and saying, well, we knew this all along. Feck off, yous didn't. Anyway, I've just seen in there as well, we've got a birthday in the fandom. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. He does be on this channel quite a lot. Problem being, Lee's birthday today. So I think we'll everybody wish him a happy birthday. I'm not going to sing happy birthday to you by myself because that'd be creepy. But happy birthday, mate. And I didn't forget your birthday. How did I forget your birthday? I didn't even know I was going to be streaming today. Trust me, it would have. I'm not singing you happy birthday. All right, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Lee. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Anyway, no. All joking aside, happy birthday, mate. What are you now? 70, 60, 90? What are you now? Right, let's bring on Air Force guests. By the way, if anybody else that hasn't been on that wants to give a comment on the Legend of the Sea Devils, please let me know in the chat and I will send you off an email. But let's bring on our very first guest. And how I'm going to do this, I'm just going to wing it because right now we've only got one guest, right? So if we get if any more people tell me, then what we'll do is, as we do, everybody will get a chance to come on individually and have a say. At the Tardis Zone, you need to get cameo LOLs and do birthdays, LOL. Yeah. Well, I've stepped into the world of Discord now. I'm slowly getting there, joining all of these other little platforms to try get myself out there a little bit more. Because as I said, me subscribers, me followers, they help a lot. It'd be nice to get help off other YouTubers out there, but I've realized they don't want to promote me because I'm perceived as toxic, so I have to do it myself. I can do a very, very short time, like in 5 minutes. Well, when you're ready to come on, just let me know, man. Just let me know, and I'll bring you on, and you can tell me what your thoughts were. I did watch your stream, by the way, on Legend of the Sea Devils, but of course you can let the shackles off here, and you can tell us what you felt about the story. I have to say though, while I was watching, there was a few times that I wanted to say something in the chat, but I didn't want to rile up one of your guests. But there was a couple of things that were said that I definitely don't agree with, and I think we have to stop making excuses for Chris Chibnall now and his ratings and when it was on. At the end of the day, Easter had nothing to do with it. If anything, there would have been more people watching around the Easter period. Because remember, there's still UK still hasn't gone back to full normal yet anyway. But 5 million people tuned in for Britain's Got Talent, who's been losing ratings and viewers for the last few years now, but still 5 million tuned in for that. And it was on the same time as Doctor Who, and less than 2 million decided to watch Doctor Who. That just goes to show you how far Doctor Who has fallen in the public domain. That the fact that Britain's Got Talent and the Antiques Roadshow beat it. This is nothing to be celebrating, right? Nothing to be celebrating. And even the people that do the ratings that come out and try to put positive spin on it, you could even tell they were even contradicting themselves. Leave it out. It was a failure. Admit it now and let's move on and make sure it doesn't happen again. Anyway, let's bring on our first guest. It's the one and only. We haven't seen him in a while. It's Marty. It's Marty. And Lee says he's 18 all over again. Oh, jeez. Good man. Good man.
Can you imagine?
24th or 56th birthday, whatever it is.
Is he not 507?
He could be 507. Yeah, I thought he was 507.
How are you, Eloy?
I'm not too bad. The what? Right on the table where I left them. I don't know. Well, look where your glasses are. Yeah, see? They're right. She needs glasses, man. I keep telling her, right? She keeps saying that she can't see it. And even when we're watching something and the subtitles are up on something, she can't read it. I keep telling her. And she keeps telling me that she needs reading glasses.
No. I don't need reading glasses.
But you need
I can see close up.
Well,
I can't stand 3 feet in front of her face.
Yeah, well, it's fun.
Separate issue.
I needed glasses. Well, I needed glasses.
I examined her free glasses, so.
Go on, Marty.
Oh,
She
I needed glasses for when I was 17, and I was told I needed glasses, and I refused to wear them. And now I'm nearly 23, and I'm blind as a bat.
yeah,
Like if
you
I
should have put the glasses on when you
yeah,
were told. Everybody hates wearing glasses, though.
yeah,
I lost them when I lost the stuff. They're somewhere in Iceland, I think.
Yeah, she lost her glasses in Iceland or something when
Uh-huh.
she was coming over the many times to visit me before we got married and
Remember
stuff.
somebody took stuff out of my bag.
Yeah, people, yeah.
he kept her busy.
That's
Yeah.
it. We got 50 people watching right now. Do us a favor. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, thank you to all you new people that have actually subscribed. You're welcome to the channel. As I said, the opinions are obviously my own, and I don't change those opinions for anybody. So, and sometimes I can be quite harsh. So, just a word of warning. Just want to let you know, I shoot from the hip. Basically, I speak my mind, and look, I'm just honest about how I feel about the show. Anyway, Marty, what we'll do is just in case you have heard any other stuff, just leave it for now, and we'll just talk about Legend of the Sea Devils first, and then if you've that, because I have thrown up some rumors as well. Now, I normally wouldn't throw up, I just actually want to bring that up real quick. I wouldn't normally bring up 4chan or Reddit rumors, but these ones are very interesting, and they look believable, so I've just thrown them up anyway.
Yeah.
So if you want to take a look at them, that's fantastic. But let's get into it. Marty, obviously, Legend of the Sea Devils dropped a few days back. We've all had time to think about it now, and actually these streams are probably better because people have had time to think about the episode instead of talking about it on the night. But what did you think of Legend of the Sea Devils?
What an absolute snore fest! What an absolute snore fest! I mean, I've been watching Doctor Who for nearly 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with my mum from the very start. And my mum, I looked around at my mum the other night, and she was sleeping on the sofa. She's never done that before. She's never done that. That's how bad. Like there was times I was watching it, I was like, I just can't. Like the start of it was fine. I was like, I was willing to give it a chance. I was willing to give it a chance because I was thinking, I'll see how it goes. See Devil's back. I had some sort of expectation, even though I knew it was Chibnall right. Then I was sort of thinking, well, it mightn't be too bad. It mightn't be as bad as what we think. But yeah, I've been called out too many times before with that.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Like, we get criticised all the time, Marty. But I mean, how many times have we given this bloke a chance to try get it right? And I wouldn't even mind, like, it was 2 episodes to go at that stage. And we were still kind of optimistic and hopeful that he could pull at least one episode out of the bag where we're all saying, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But again, he's just failed to deliver.
It's not, none of it makes sense. I mean, it seems to be, I don't say this with any, I don't get a kick out of saying this, but it seems to be a well-polished shit show. That's the only way to put it. The story, I couldn't make head or tail of the story. The Sea Devils, I don't think he particularly done anything wrong with the Sea Devils, but I think he just didn't use them. It was enough to say, oh, look, here's the Sea Devils, they're back, but he never done nothing with them. They were just there, and it felt like they were underused. The thing that really pissed me off the most about them was the design of them, and I'll tell you why. Because when you see them, like the thing, and I was watching another guy the other day who was reviewing it, and he said about them blinking. The Sea Devils and the classic series don't blink. Like they made this, the whole prosthetics of it look cool, and then they started adding effects onto the actual prop, and it just looked so bad. I mean, the effects of it were really, really poor. I mean, the special effects overall were poor, apart from, say, maybe the shot where the TARDIS was under the water. Like, that's the only shot I can think of that was actually done well. but the story was just all over the place. I couldn't really follow it. I just could not follow it. I just had. I think it was more. I was more interested to see how the episode was going to end rather than the actual story, because I was looking forward to seeing how they were setting up her final episode. But it's the only bit that was. To tell you the truth, I just really could not get into it at all. It was one of these episodes, and even Eve of the Dark. I was exactly same with Eve of the Daleks. I just could not. It feels like it doesn't feel. It didn't feel like a special. It felt like something that was. It felt like a script that was lying gathering dust. That they said, "Oh crap, we'll take this out and we'll to get the viewers back. We'll fire in the Sea Devils because the Sea Devils haven't been in it for 40 years, and we'll put them in and it'll say, oh look, here's the Sea Devils, and the Sea Devils are back, and you think they're going to do something with them, and they don't do anything, and it's
this is the thing, Marty. He brings back the Sea Devils,
yeah,
and you would think, as a Doctor Who fan, as you said yourself, it's been so long since they've been in. They're legendary, right? You think the Sea Devils alone would pull in viewers, right? Even though we know it's been bad, you think the Sea Devils would pull it. But what I seen was, and what it means to me is, it doesn't matter what he does, right? He could bring the Sea Devils back. He could bring the Valiard back. He could even bring Zootek back, right? Yeah. It's not going to work now. He's decided that he's going to rope poor Ace and Tegan in now. Right. I mean, again, if he thinks that that's going to suddenly boost these ratings, or, fans are going to turn around and say, oh, that centenary was great, he's actually kidding himself right now. I don't think he honestly, or maybe they do. They have to now at this stage. But it's game over for this era. It was game over a long time ago. It's been suffering a slow death since Series 11, in my opinion. And it needs to be put out of its misery. And thanks be to God, it will be. But, I mean, again, poorly edited. I think that's why the story didn't seem cohesive. You could clearly tell that the rumours about some of this being cut, I think that's true. Because if you look at it, the runtime, it said 50 minutes on the out, but the runtime was actually 45, and then we had the little trailer at the end. So it didn't even feel like, as you said, and I said this, for a special should at least go on for over an hour.
Yeah. I mean, and it felt like it didn't feel like you were building towards anything, even at the end. And that scene is so cringy where she's like, so someone suggested this on a review where they said, like she says, "Oh, I wish this could last forever for Yaz," and she's like, that's another whole thing, the whole Phasma thing. I'll get into it now. The whole thing with her sitting, being like, "Oh, I can't connect with anyone. I can't do this. I can't do that." Why not? Why there's no even sense to even a casual viewer that this is her second last episode. I mean, if there hadn't been a line there where she's like, when we were fixed, if she had a reference back to the end of Flux saying, listen, I've been told that my time's coming to an end, I can't, I've been here before. Like, even if there was like a not on the nose reference to Rose, but a reference to say, listen, I we've been here before, I can't do this, my time's coming to an end. Something along those lines would have made sense, but there's no reference even to the fact that this is it, time's up. It just felt very abrupt how the episode ended. I just felt all over the place.
In fairness, an episode like that should have a better cliffhanger to get us excited for the next story. But instead, what he decided to do is end it that way and then give us the teaser trailer straight after. Why not something in the actual end of the episode that suggests that there's something big coming, the way RTD did it when he did the Torn Left episode. Do you remember at the end of that episode then we got the 2-parter, but I classed that as a 3-parter, but in reality it's a 2-parter. But look at the way he ended that episode, right? Yeah. He left it on a cliffhanger. The Doctor knew that Rose was back somehow, right? And then it ends, right? This one has none of that. None of that. It's just like those two having their little, yeah, I wish this could last forever. And then, and then the trailer. Like, what a way to
Right.
end.
What they could have done, I'm just thinking of this now on the spot, where it's like, maybe, right, you could have had that say, right, oh, this could last forever, whatever. Then all of a sudden, a phone starts ringing. It's Kate Stewart, they have to come to unit, and, you hear on the phone that, the Daleks, the Cybermen are coming, this, that. They land in unit, and the doors open in unit, and you see Kate, Tegan, and fucking Ace, and then you fucking go straight into go into the next time trailer after that. There's nothing even that leads into
No.
So, like, you could probably put this episode, if you took out that coming soon trailer, right, you probably could put that in somewhere. I know Flux is one storyline, but you could just tell that this was an episode that was originally supposed to be part of the series. There's, if this had been me, you would have taken the script and made adjustments to make it fit around the theme of, you could fit it around the theme of Easter, or you could, at least imply that, time's almost up here. But there's none of that. There's none of that at all. And then I think the most interesting thing is the whole Phasmin thing. Because that's been left now in a situation where has she just like straight up rejected her? The doctor has the doctor just straight up rejected her? I don't know. There's a part of me that feels glad that at the minute it seems they're not pursuing that any.
I don't know. He said, "Look, it's going to bleed into the last episode." I don't think that Tasman thing is quite finished yet. But yeah, she basically told her, that they couldn't be together the way obviously Yaz would want them to be together, basically. So in a way, it is a bit of a rejection. But the Tasman lot are quite peculiar because they think he handled it very well. Like, I mean, he literally baches with the relationship during the Flux with a double bed and then a couple of scenes in a couple of episodes later. Then he goes and does this, and then he's basically saying, well, look, he's hardly going to get you our happy ending because the doctor's going to die. And Yaz's fate is still up for debate. But if the rumours that we spoke about are true, it's not going to end too well for Yaz either. And by the way, yeah, obviously that trailer has come out. I don't think that was Jodie Whittaker regenerating in that trailer, by the way, folks.
There is a theory online. So
hold on before you do. Is there anything else you want to add about the Legend of the Sea Devils episode and give you a rating, and then I can ask you about the other stuff?
I just think that it was a convoluted, it was a mess. Even like the sword. As you say, I think the real problem was the editing of it. You can tell that there was stuff chopped out. I think there's a scene where she's putting the Sonic back into her pocket, and then it just cuts to her hands by her side. Like, the editing just threw me off. If you have something that's edited poorly, nobody, no matter who you are, is going to make sense of what's going on. And, I didn't really care for the story. The characters, the side characters were meh. It's not. It just felt very dull. There's nothing really there that kept me hooked in it at all. It just and as I think that's basically it was just poorly edited, and the story was just meh, general, average, nothing to write home about. Like,
that's what I mean. I mean, he even said in an interview that he had this story and he decided to mess around with it a bit and to insert the Sea Devils into it. You could definitely tell that the Sea Devils were inserted into this episode, just like the Captain Jack cameo and all of the other stuff that he has shoehorned in, including this Tasman relationship. It's laziness. It's look, here's the thing as well. This is what drives me mad. If you're going to do the Tasman thing, right, don't pussyfoot around it. If you're going to do a Chibnall, you go full hog, or you don't do it at all.
Yeah,
right? But that's what he's doing. He's pussyfooting around it, but they're lapping it up as if it's something amazing, right? It's disrespectful. It's disingenuous. He doesn't care about you, right?
thing
He's already
is,
proven that.
I I have no problem with him doing that. But it's the fact that, it's been shoehorned in there 2 episodes, say 3 episodes before she's leaving. And you're just supposed to accept that the fact that Yaz has been with the doctor for, in our time, 4 years, but God
Mm-hmm.
knows how long it's been for the character. And it hasn't even been mentioned once until fucking, up front once until fucking Eve of the Daleks. And it was only put in there because a certain minority of the fandom screamed and begged for it on Twitter, and now it's happened.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research last night on this Tasman thing, and I've kind of found the origins of where this all started. Now, originally, there's a article by Fanside back in the day, 5 years ago, when the announcements were made, and I think we were 2 episodes in, and this journalist did an article on how that if he's aren't shipping Yaz and Ryan, you should, right?
Yeah.
Now, in this article, I'm reading down this article, and there's one line, and it's the episode that I say that triggered all of this. Now, I'm not saying that fans weren't standing those two already, right? They probably were, and they probably had some artwork, but this is where it actually gained its traction. And she even mentions it in the article where she says there's a throwaway line in the in the Arachnids episode, and where it would be nice to explore Yaz and the Doctor. I would rather see Yaz and Ryan, right? So this is where this article. So it was Arachnids is where someone says to Yaz, "Is that your girlfriend?" I think it was our grandmother or our mother or whatever it was.
Her mother says they used to date.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was the throwaway line, right? But originally, Yaz was supposed to end up with Ryan Sinclair, but because Tolson and Bradley Walsh decided to leave the show, that was thrown out the window. Now, yeah, Mandip Gill had heard about the Tasman Stannon, right? And then she alerted Whitaker, who alerted Chris, and they knew about Steve, and Stephen said it. They knew about it, they forgot about it, and then they decided to bring it in Jordan Flux, right?
Yeah.
That's why we got the double bed scene, them two hanging upside down, and they fall on the double bed. That was, and even the Tasman stands, if you remember when that first scene, what was their double bed doing in the console room, and then their minds went crazy. That's how he's done this. He's baiting them with little pieces, right? And they've lapped it up. This is why, and we had Beth from the Time Ladies, and I will call her out for this because it's disingenuous to actually compare Rose and Ten's relationship and Rivers and Eleven's, right? And compare them to the current relationship. See the difference between those relationships and the relationship that you cleverly put in your tweet to try validate it. That's all you're doing, by the way. You're trying to validate this relationship, just like you're trying to validate this female doctor by saying that the BBC or whoever's in charge of the casting should cast another yoke because it'll give the appearance that the Not My Doctors were right. We were right, but we're not my doctors. We're just Doctor Who fans who were spot on and saw this coming a mile away.
Yeah. But the thing is, if they had kept that, if they had said, right, if they had went with that, where like I said, okay, are you two dating? And they followed that up from Series 11, implying more and more that, yeah.
Exactly. I don't agree with it myself, but exactly,
Yeah.
You're right. That's what needed to happen, though.
Yeah.
That's what needed to happen. Now, I don't agree with a relationship with the Doctor. It doesn't matter whether the Doctor is a man or a woman. I don't like that romantic element. That's something that RTD did bring in it. Okay, the movie did it as well, right? But forget about that. Right? I've never really agreed with it. But if you're going to do it, you do it like Rose and 10. You do it like River and 11, right?
Yeah.
You build up their characters. You build up the plot, right? None of this is being built up whatsoever. And then you have these fans saying there's been 4 years of hints. No, there hasn't, right? And I have an article and I have certain lines underlined on it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prove to you that you are all seeing it in your own heads. It hasn't been 4 years of hints. What it's been 4 years of you guys pushing this and Chris Chibnall has finally decided to give you what you want, right? Again, proven that he only panders to a small minority, and this is why there's less than 2 million people tuning in. The mainstream audience, whether you like it or not, are not all down for all of this social justice crap that's going around now, because it's the wrong type, right? It's going about it wrong. You're bullying people. You're cancelling people. Nobody wants it. The British public and the wider audience have given up on Doctor Who. Simple as that.
I was actually shocked when I seen those ratings, when I sent them to you, and I was like, look, I was like, you said this. I was watching your stream the other day about how you said, if it went under 2 million, it's like, that's crazy. And I don't care. I know I sort of try to keep a level head when it comes to being critical of any era of the show, but that there's a disgrace. 2 million is a disgrace. And there's no hiding that. No,
I take no pleasure being right. No,
I don't get a kick out of this, and I don't like bashing this show at all. I don't. It pains me to do it. But 2 million, when I seen that figure on Monday morning, I was like, Christ Almighty, how far the great have fallen.
Halton says, do the poem now of the one where I said roses are red, the Tardis is blue. Yeah, said I love you. The doctor said fuck you. That one.
Oh my God.
Listen, bottom line is I knew this relationship was never going to get the resolution that these fans want. That's why I never wanted it to happen or to be shoehorned in. If you're going to do this, you go full hog or you don't at all. It's as simple as that.
Here's one for you. Roses are red, the TARDIS is blue. We all can't wait for RTD2.
I love it. I love it. Right, give me your rating so we can stop talking, because I don't think anybody else wants to come on and discuss it, because I think everybody's still in shock over the ratings, to be quite honest with you. And look, even Mr. TARDIS put, but I can't defend the ratings. Well, you've been defending them for 5 years. Why can't you defend them this time? Sure, there's not much in the difference between Eve of the Daleks and the Legend of the Sea Devils ratings, right? In live views, if you look at it, 2 million live views, 2.2 in the overnights for. So not much of a difference. Well, why aren't you defending it now? What's changed? Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what's changed. You realise everything that you've said for the past 5 years has been utterly bullshit, and now you're trying to change the narrative and switch now because you want to be received well when RTD2 happens, basically. But you're being called out by all of your supporters and some of the others, and it's nice to see. I mean, hypocrites you are. 5 years we've been saying it. 5 years. Look, you mightn't have liked the way I went about things. I don't care. Right? At the end of the day, you should have called Chris Chibnall out when I told you to call Chris Chibnall out. You should have called out the pathetic and vile behaviour of these fans when they were attacking long-term fans and other people that didn't like this era. Absolutely disgraceful. I come on, but sorting the kids' dinner out. No problem, Gobby Guy. We will have to get you on soon. We keep saying it, but we'll have to organise something. I would love to come on, but I can't at the moment. Sorry. No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to get him to give me his rating. And then, obviously, there's been some stuff floating about, as you know. So we'll discuss that for a few more minutes. And then I'm going to put on the chicken because I'm having some chicken. So, Marty, give your rating first. What would you give Legend of the Sea Devils?
I would give it a 3, and that's been generous. Out of 10. I'd give it a 3 out of 10.
Do you know what? I gave it a 7.5.
Really?
I've given it the highest rating of anybody that was on the panel and yourself. Look, yeah, it has all those flaws, right? But for me, I'm looking at it this way, right? And this is how I am looking at it. Compared to 3 seasons and the specials that we've got so far, did I enjoy this more than I enjoyed all the other stuff? And I can't lie to myself. I did. It has those flaws. I hate the lightsaber swords. Made no sense. I didn't like the leap the Sea Devil did. I thought that was rubbish. I actually thought the costumes were great, actually, and the visuals were great. I thought the TARDIS shot under the water was absolutely beautiful. I mean, story wasn't great, I'll admit that. But I did actually, there was some fun moments in it for me, And I mean, the sword fight wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, but it should have been longer and there should have been more action. That's the
Yeah.
thing that pissed me off about it. You've got pirates, right? And I know some people say, well, you got to remember this was made during the COVID restrictions, so they couldn't have had many people, blah, blah. But Jesus Christ, put in a few more pirates or something. Or
Well,
put
the
in.
thing is, they were supposed to be, and you're on with scenes being cut. There was like a big casting call put out last year for people to play pirates, so there clearly was like a bigger scale scene full of pirates planned. Now, whether that was scrapped because of COVID, I don't know, but that's
It
one thing.
probably was, and fair enough. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, but you could still make a good story, or you could CGI some extra fucking, like all the other companies do, CGI some extra bleeding pirates if you can't get real people in, for God's sake. Or do what they do, they get one person and then they multiply that person, like what they did in the new Johnny Depp, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where the Oompa Loompa was the same guy. He could have used that technology, but no, he doesn't think like that. Everything he does is just thrown together. He's lazy. But 3 out of 10. Jesus, I thought I was being. I don't get me wrong. I said I would, I probably would reevaluate, but I'm gonna stick with me 7 out of 10. But I can't. Yeah. It had its problems. It is boring in parts, but there were some elements I did like, and like you. I'm just glad that the Sea Devils kind of came out of it unscathed. So that's good. But we know Ace and Tegan won't. Oh, Jesus.
Well, don't even.
Oh,
You know something? I'm not even gonna lie. When I seen them at the start, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I literally had a fanboy moment. I did like lose my shit, because I'm just so glad to see them. But then reality set in, I was like, Chibnall's writing for them. Chibnall's writing for them.
That's what I mean. When I seen them first, I was amazed. But you got to look at this. This is Chris Chibnall writing these characters. I mean, and I'm delighted for them personally that they're getting an opportunity to be shown to the new fans, right? Because let's be honest, bringing some of the companions back like that has been a long time coming. I just wish it wasn't under this man.
Yeah, if it's I'll move on to it shortly, but it seems to be it wasn't him. Well, I'm not saying it wasn't him, but I'm just saying I've heard it wasn't just his decision to bring them back. But yeah, that's what I'll say for the minute, because there seems to be if certain people are right, there seems to be a bit more of an influence in it. And I don't know how much of an influence this other person had, but apparently this other person was involved in them coming back, or was at least asked about it. Yeah, I'll throw it out
Would
there.
there be a certain person that has three words, three names? Would it be?
It would be he would be referred to by 3 letters.
Yeah. I would look. I know exactly what I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised because he is coming in, and here's the thing: if the centenary is going to kind of, lash into the 60th to a certain extent, there might be even a scene that RTD has done for that. So maybe that's why. Look, I don't care. All I just want to see is when this era over and RTD to take over, and we'll see what happens. But here, BBC have announced on one of their articles that an announcement of the 14th Doctor is incoming, Marty. What do you think? What do you think of that, though? That the fact that they've actually come out at the end of an article to actually say that there's going to be an announcement on the 14th Doctor. Do you believe they're doing it because this is the right time, or do you think some of the media, like with I reckon with the RTD announcement, or do you think another option? It's the fact that this show is so bad now that they need to give fans some sort of hope, and that's why they're throwing out this announcement. Why do you think they're doing it so soon? Because I still think it is a bit too soon, but why do you think they are?
Well, I think based on the stuff I've been hearing, because I haven't been chatting in about 6 weeks, but it based on what I'm hearing, I think it's probably to maybe get interest going for the centenary. But I know that I have been told that the 60th is filming. I don't think the new Doctor is going to be featured in the 60th unless at the end. But I think something's coming soon, and I think it's probably just to get fan interest going. It's to get the hype going. Maybe they're kickstarting the RTD2 hype train earlier than what they wanted. Maybe,
And they're probably doing, listen, this could be another thing as well. Remember, we have heard rumors and stuff about the possibility that the 60th is going to be this big affair and it's going to be over a couple of nights. If that is the case, then it kind of would make sense that something needs to happen soon, because if he's going to be filming them, especially if it's not just one,
yeah.
1 hour and whatever special, he decides to actually break it up into different over a couple of nights. That would make sense. Then it would actually make sense that they're announcing soon, because like they would have to start filming.
Well, I can tell you now on good authority, and you can call this an exclusive if you want to call it. The 60th anniversary begins production in 2 weeks.
Well, they said that. Well, then that ties in with the fact that the BBC have said that there's going to be a Doctor announcement, and so they'll announce the Doctor the week before, and then 2 weeks later, then they'll actually go straight into filming. Well, then that's brilliant if that's the case, because I do honestly believe now that no matter what the other side say, they might say it's disrespectful to do all this while the current era is going. But you need to realise is that if this doesn't happen now, forget about RTD2. Forget about RTD2, because I'll tell you why. If there's no interest there, it doesn't matter how good RTD is. And I don't care what anybody says, right? Yes, his name will pull in some viewers, right? But at the end of the day, it's this show is so low in the public consciousness right now that he has a job on his hands. Listen, all he needs to do is just get the right Doctor in, and then start giving us those interviews and maybe a couple of spoilers in between. Give us something, and he will, and that'll be the difference between him succeeding and not. But remember, in 2004, leading up to the show, his promotion of that show was unbelievable. I mean, they went all out, BBC as well, and BBC Studios, they went all out. So, like, if anybody can turn this around, it is him. But I do, yeah. I said it a few weeks back on the channel when we had the discussion, and I did say I think they do need to get some good news out there, and they need to get it out in quick time, because fans look at every week, not every week, but every episode, you're losing over 200,000 viewers each time, right? Especially these last two episodes, over 200, 300,000 people. By the way, if you think the ratings are bad in UK, Gary put up a post and showed the ratings for the US. They've lost over 300,000 viewers over there.
Crazy.
Right? So it's lost most of its audience over there. Because believe it or not, even though there's millions of people in Doctor Who, millions of people don't actually tune in to watch Doctor Who. If you look at it, Doctor Who would be lucky in America if it gets between 750 to 1 million viewers. But the fact that it's down less than 100 and something odd thousand viewers just shows you. There you go, 209 apparently in the US. It was 700 and something to a million people watching before this era happened.
I have been told stuff about the 60th. But the person that's told me has asked me not to make it public yet. I'm not, I'm not. If I could tell you, I would put it like that, but I can't. And that's the first time anybody's ever actually said to me, "Don't come out with this." I will tell you, Noel, privately.
Right.
I'm going to send it into the private chat because I've actually written it out.
Okay.
So I will let you have a look at that and see what you think of it. I'm sending it to the private chat here now, so you can tell me what you think of that.
Right, let's have a look. We're going to jump out me. How kind of... Okay, the last part, right, the last part I'll say, okay, but
Yeah.
But no, but it's the name. It's the name. I'll tell you what I've been told.
Yeah. Oh. Now we're getting somewhere.
No, hold on.
Because there's, yeah.
That's what I was told, though. About that person that you're talking about. And it's the exact same name. But yeah, that was obvious because it's the worst kept secret in the look. It's another one of these worst kept secrets that everybody knows what's going to bleed and happen for the 60th, but it won't. But that's what I've been told about that person that you've mentioned. Not what there, but anything is possible. But you got to remember, this is RTD. Would RTD actually do that?
Well,
see, that's the thing. I don't know. Yeah.
There's been a name mentioned for the 14 apart. Everything I'm hearing from people from all over Reddit, other forum that we will not mention by name, Discord, and all those places. Every person who has got knowledge is saying to me, not just to me, but to everybody there, that they're hearing. They keep hearing the next Doctor's a man. The next Doctor's a man.
Well, Russell Tovey's name has popped up yet again. Look, right, the teaser trailer showed me something, and I think fans have got it all wrong, actually.
Yeah.
When you see that trailer, they show what looks like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor regenerating. She's not regenerating. That's a trap. And the reason why she's calling Yaz is because Yaz is also trapped, and they're probably being trapped by the Master. Now, later on in the photographs or later on in the trailer, because that all happened so fast, we see Jodie Whittaker, Doctor, in the orange spacesuit along with Dan. He's in the spacesuit as well. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is going to regenerate in that spacesuit because the next Doctor is a man. They're not going to regenerate a male Doctor into Jodie Whittaker's costume. So that's not regeneration energy that you have actually seen. That's a trap, I reckon. Now, this is just my theory. This is not something that I've heard. I've been speaking about this since we've watched the teaser. I've said this on a couple of occasions now over the last couple of days. But there is no way in hell that if the next Doctor is a bloke, that bloke Doctor is regenerating into her costume. Now, this is not... This will only happen, right? I mean, not the Doctor, the male being in her clothes. I mean, it could go two ways, right? Because we've also heard the rumor that she will regenerate, but we won't see who she regenerates into. Now, I have actually heard the rumor that if she, and I've spoke about it on the channel, that if she does regenerate, she's actually going to regenerate into David Tennant.
Yeah.
Right? So he's wore that spacesuit. What a way for David Tennant to come back if he regenerated into that spacesuit, and that's the first scene with him in that iconic spacesuit. I'm telling you now, Jodie's doctor is not regenerating in her costume unless they're bookending it and it fades out, right? If they're not, and she is going to regenerate. And by the way, the latest rumor on Reddit suggests that Jodie will regenerate, but then we'll be in the doctor's subconscious, and that's how we'll get 10 back. That's how we'll get all these other doctors back, you know, because they'll be helping her along to help her to regenerate or something like that, is the rumor that was on Reddit that I threw up last night. And even Lee said that's probably one of the most convincing rumors from Reddit. And I agree, and that's why I threw it up. That's why I threw it up, because it does sound convincing. But again, as everybody said in the comment section, time will tell. But go ahead. Yeah, Marty, you just keep talking.
No, well, I'll tell you what I've heard.
Roast chicken.
Go on ahead. Right. I'll tell you what I've heard about the Centenary Special. So we all know that Ace and the Doctor, Christ, here my head's going. We all know that Ace and Tegan are back for the Centenary Special. So supposedly what's happening is there's the part of the plot of the story is that there's Dan apparently is going to leave the TARDIS very early on. I don't know what the story behind that is. It's just apparently he's leaving. Something happens. I think there's some speculation that they pick up mid-adventure. Something happens to Dan and he decides to leave. But there is supposed to be like a support group that Ace and Tegan have been leading, and there's like former companions in it. So like you're going to see very minor cameos. So it literally like might be like you're like a video call of people.
Yeah.
So you will see people. Some of the names been mentioned to appear in that have been who's been mentioned for Polly, Ian Chesterton. They've apparently managed to get William Russell to do like a cameo. It's like a video on the phone. Who else has been mentioned? Nissa has been mentioned. Christ, who else has been mentioned? I don't know if Leland's been mentioned. There's been a lot.
In fairness, if Ace and Tegan are coming back, right, it's safe to assume that some other companions are going to look. It's not beyond the realms of possibility here that we might even have cameos from other doctors as well. The way this seems to be checking out, I wouldn't be surprised. But are we surprised that it's kind of a council support group?
Yeah.
For ex-companions, like, I mean, this is the Chris Chibnall era down to a bleeding T. They need therapy because they were with the bad man doctor.
Yeah, Joe Grant has been mentioned. Katie Manning's actually basically directly hinted at it on Twitter. So supposedly that's what's happening there. I've seen another brilliant theory that on Twitter. That this is just a theory. This isn't what I've heard. That we see the Master with it. We see the Master in these almost what I call like Capaldi style clothes with a shave of the Hazel beard.
Mm-hmm.
There's two theories I've heard about this. Now, I like both of them. One of them is that they're going to this Master that we see is this is going to be basically the beginnings of Sacha Dhawan's Master.
That's right. It's directly. I've seen this rumor. It's directly after Missy. It's going to be explained that he is the next incarnation.
Yeah, but he's good at the start. He's good to the Doctor because he's still got that in his head. But the episode will explore what makes him turn again.
But that makes no sense though, because if we were to look at the scene with her and Sims Master, he basically killed her. So unless there was a clever way, now it is actually Missy. He's supposed to be it would have made more sense for me if it was Sim. Right, because we didn't see him regenerate, and he did go back down into his TARDIS. But apparently, Sacha is going to be the direct regeneration from Missy. Yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna work because, look, I didn't know Michelle Gomez's performance as Missy is absolutely sensational. I don't really class Missy as the Master personally, right? But the thing about it is they did give Missy a redemption arc.
Mhm.
Right? Now, if they're going to explore this, right, fair enough. You said Sasha was nice to her at first because he still had that in him because it was early days in
Yeah,
his regeneration. That's fine, fair enough. But if you're going to turn the Master evil yet again because of all of this timeless child nonsense or whatever it is that's going to make him angry, I mean, what's the point?
yeah.
What's the point? I don't know. I threw that route. That's part of the 4chan rumors. I've thrown that up already. All of the stuff that you're actually telling me, I already know because I've thrown it up on the channel
Yeah.
already, man.
Yeah.
But it is all interesting, mate.
Um,
It is. Look, some of that stuff that's coming out, believe it or not, lately off Reddit and 4chan, I'm tending to say, yeah, there could be something in this because you can tell that it's not blatantly made up, this stuff. This
Yeah.
stuff is definitely coming from somewhere. Now, whether it's coming from within inside Bad Wolf Studios, I would highly doubt that to a certain extent, folks, by the way. Because remember, they're not in the old studio anymore.
yeah.
They're
They're
in
not.
Bad Wolf, and that's where all the sources were. So unless RTD has actually hired the production team of the last era, well, I don't know where these people are getting
What I've
so-called
been told
leaks
is
unless they know someone that knows RTD.
there is some of the crew from Chimnal's Run going to Bad Wolf. Certain people, now not the whole lot, a select few. I take it these are people RTD thinks have potential. But the filming blocks and dates suggest the 60th is filming in May to the middle of July. And then the next production block, this is based on job adverts that have been going for shows. It says a return on BBC drama. And the next production block is from October this year to July next year. So that's the blocks. So May to July, allegedly for the 60th, October to July next year for Series 14. So
We got
that,
just let us read this super
yeah,
chat out. Warped Eyebrow 2 says with £2 super chat. Was it Jodie who actually regenerated or what? Are you talking about the teaser? I don't think she was regenerating in
no,
that teaser. No. I
I,
honestly don't. If you look at it again, we even said it while I was watching the teeth, that regeneration energy looks weird. And then when I looked at it again, that's not regeneration energy. She's in a trap. And that's why she's screaming for Yaz. She's not screaming for Yaz because the Tazes think, oh, Yaz. Right? It's not that. She's screaming for Yaz because Yaz is obviously trapped as well, or the master or whoever they're up against is doing something to Yaz. But that's not Jodie's doctor regenerating in that clip because she's in her
no.
costume. And there's no way that if the doctor is going to be a bloke, unless they cast another woman. But all the chat that I've been heard and Marty's heard and other people have heard out there, it's going to be a bloke doctor. So I just don't see the bloke doctor regenerating into that costume because I tell you, if it did happen, it would be funny.
Well,
Don't get me wrong, it would be funny and I would take the piss out of her for all time. But I don't want to see it. I don't put a bloke in that costume and humiliate him. No way.
I've heard a name for who this doctor could potentially be. I'll send it to you first before I say it out because I think it's believable at the same time, but at the same time, I think they're probably way too big now. And the only thing that makes me believe this name is the fact that if you're working now, if Doctor Who's working with a rumored budget of between 60 to 70 million, they're gonna want a big name to front it. That's my view on it. I could be wrong, but this is the name I've heard. I would like it to be this person, but I don't think they'll be able to afford them. But this is the rumor that's been swarming around, not from everybody, but from a select few people.
Nah,
I can't.
no chance. No chance.
Far too big.
I'll tell you why there's no chance. There's no chance because he's obviously the series that he's working on is coming to an end, and he's going to be focusing more on Hollywood. And he has up and coming projects. So I don't see him being given the Doctor, but I don't think he's Doctor Who material anyway. He's just, I don't know, too, what would I say, too rugged or something.
Too rough. Too rough.
Yeah, like you'd see him more in action movies, basically, and stuff like that. Yeah, he could probably play James Bond. I know there's a bit of debate. I know he's actually ruled himself out for it, but I would mind him being James Bond. Give him a go, why not? But no, he's not Doctor Who material.
I'll tell you another thing that's been going around. So I know a lot of people are sort of waiting to hear what the crack is with the Timeless Child. Apparently, there's not even going to be one mention of it in the Centenary Special. According to a user on forum that we shall not name, the scene where the Doctor threw the fob watch down into the TARDIS was Chibnall's last word on everything. Now, whether that was because he was told to stop, or whether that was because that's where he felt it ended, I don't know. But that's what's been said, that there is no mention of the Timeless Child in the Centenary Special. It's done. It's kaput.
No, but no. Hang on. So what you're saying is he's not gonna right. So he's done this plot thread, right? And he's decided now, after all of that he's not going to finish this plot thread. Either way, that's what you're telling me.
Partly so. That's. I'm only the messenger.
Nah. It's impossible. The fob watch is still there. I'm telling you, he has to. He has to, because if he doesn't, whether I agree with it or not, right, I can move on and give RTD a chance. There are some fans that will not unless this is retconned, right? So I'm sorry, he cannot just do this, right, and decide to fuck up the whole canon and the lore of the show and bastardize the Time Lords by putting them into Cyber Lord, turning them into Cyber Lords, which makes absolutely no sense, by the way, right? To then suddenly turn around and say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to handle it now because, I can't be bothered. Well, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. People want a resolution to this, right? Now, me personally, I don't give a shit. I'll move on. I have moved on. I've checked out of this era. I don't care. I will move on. But for some fans, this is a very big deal. And it's the difference between whether they watch RTD's era or not. So my advice would be to Chris Chibnall, if you're listening, yeah? If you haven't put this in the episode now before this centenary drops, I suggest you get off your arse and actually do it, right? Because this needs to be resolved. You cannot just leave it open, right? Fans need closure on this. And I'm speaking for those fans because they do have a point to say, I can move on. But there are fans out there that can't, right? You've got to fix this stuff. If you don't fix it, well, then double down on it, but do something with it, right? It's like this Tasman rubbish as well. It's like, I'll sprinkle a few bits and pieces in here. Here's a few sprinkles for you. But you aren't going to get the resolution that you want because the Doctor's going to die. Same bloody thing here, right? Sort out the Timeless Child nonsense, right? Because if you don't, then you're just proving to everybody what you are. A hack. Exactly what we've been saying about you for years. You haven't even got the conviction. That's what I this is the main thing that I hate about this man. Everything he's done, he's never went full hog. He's never had the conviction or the balls to do the things that he wanted to do. Right? Tasman, half-assed it. Right? This Timeless Children nonsense, half-assed it. Right? When he had opportunities to explain it to us, he kills off characters that can explain it to us. Right? So he keeps, and now it must be resolved for those fans. If not, you're gonna make it very difficult for RTD. I still believe that he can actually turn this around, but I'm just sad for those fans that will just turn their backs on it, no matter what RTD does, because of this Timeless Child. nonsense. It's left a real sour taste in people's mouth. I was devastated when it happened. You see my reaction to it. I've just decided for the best for my mental health and stuff and me sanity is to just to forget about and ignore it and pretend that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I know some fans need that closure. Now, if he doesn't give them that closure, shame on you, Chibnall, and shame on you as well for the Tasman stuff, not giving those fans. Listen, I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I don't agree with Tasman anyway. But if you're going to do it, right, at least be respectful to the people that you're pandering to, right, and actually give it to them, right? Not half-assed. I mean, there was a scene there where they were looking at each other. And I even shouted at the screen, he's watch me during the watch along. Just kiss, get it done and over with, and just do it. Bang. But no, he didn't. He dragged it out. Oh, sorry, Yaz, I can't be with you because it hurts too much. And I wish this could last forever and all of this nonsense. Anyway, you talk because I'm going to do something there for a second. Go ahead.
Well, I would want him to get this timeless child stuff over and done with. I believe that he is going to sort this out, but I'm only saying what I've heard. So I'm not claiming it's fact. I'm not saying anything's fact. I'm only saying I'm only passing on what I've heard, and you can make up yourselves, make up your own minds as to what you think. I want him to sort this out and get it over and done with. I'm sort of, my own personal theory is the fact that we see Jodie regenerating and that thing she shouts for Yaz. It makes me think that, you know, there's regeneration energy there, but as Noel says, I reckon it's a trap. I reckon the Masters laid a trap for her. And I reckon the whole thing, if there's regeneration energy, it's got something to do with the timeless child. Personally, I know a lot of people would be like, Christ, I don't want to do this. But I would want this story to be about this whole arc. I came up with a good theory. I actually came up with this theory one night. I had a mate of mine had a theory, right? A mate and I came up with this theory as to how Chibnall could resolve the timeless child arc, get rid of it, but at the same time keep it. So, you know, please both sides of the fandom. So my 50 cents on the whole thing was basically my sort of theory as to how you could do it is you sort of explain that the events of Flux, the universe destroying crap that never got resolved, somehow meant that the barriers of other universes were breaking down and that stuff was leaking in through each other. You know, this breakdown of time has been occurring across time and space. So what has happened is that the several universes are breaking down. They're bleeding in through each other. It's a bit like opening the dam. Like you knock down a dam, the water comes in everywhere. So my take on that is that the barriers between universes have broke down, and stuff that has happened in other universes has started bleeding into the Doctor Who universe. And what you could say for that is that it has corrupted, because of this damage in time, it has corrupted. Think the Matrix is a big, massive archive of all Time Lord history, past, present. You know, that's where they found out about the division stuff. But what if I put to you is that information from another universe has bled into the Matrix in this universe, which is why when the Master went looking for what he found, it happened, yes, but in another universe. The Jode Martin Doctor has slipped through one of these, well, I'm not going to say cracks in time because, you know, that's up front, but she has slipped through into this universe. And even you could say the Master has slipped through into this universe if you want. I don't know. But the idea being that the Timeless Child stuff happened, but in another universe, but because of the damage, if you wanted to relate it back to Flux, because of the damage that's happened to the universe, this has bled in through each other, thereby events that are happening in different universes are now emerging into this universe. You know, that from our point, well, basically, I'm confusing everybody with what I'm saying here is the fact that this has happened, but not in your universe, but it has corrupted. It has corrupted the Matrix in this universe, if you get what I'm saying. And that's why the timeless child stuff is in the Matrix of this universe, but it's actually from another one. So the whole, centenary episode could be the Doctor trying to fix these barriers that have broken down between universes and restore what actually happened in the Matrix. So yes, the Ruth Doctor happened, the timeless child stuff happened, but it's a different universe with a different Doctor, and it's away on its own wee bubble on its own. But it's just
that's what. But here's the thing: it doesn't matter, because we've heard from people on this channel. I've even had some heated debates with people in the chat. That's not going to be enough.
Oh,
This just has to be retcon. Simple as that. Timeless children doesn't exist anywhere. Not in a bubble. Not anywhere. That's what we've heard from people out there, and that's why I kind of, Chris has to, for the future of the show. Look, if he cares about Doctor Who like he does, right, like he says he does, well then do the right thing, and this would be the right thing. Retcon it, right? Even though you said it's not a democracy and all of this, that, and the other. If you want to give your so-called friend or your friend RTD a good chance and a good go of it, well then retcon this mess so fans can get behind RTD and support this show. Because if you don't, I do believe there will be a section of the fandom that will never return to this show. And that's the sad thing about it. After 60 years, they will decide that's it, they're done. And that is a shame, and that's a sad indictment and of the BBC and Chris Chibnall. Look, bottom line is this. I said it from day one, just like other people out there were saying, Chris Chibnall was the wrong man to bring in to take this show over, especially after he had turned it down a couple of times. The horse's mouth himself said that in a recent interview, that he had turned it down a couple of times. And yet, BBC thought that this was the guy, a guy that's turned it down. And here's the question that nobody asks. Why did he turn it down? Why did he turn it down? Right? I'll tell you why he turned it down. Because he knew. He believed he wasn't good enough for Doctor Who. And that's not a bad thing on him. He's good at drama. He's good at detective stories and all of that. Torchwood, if you look at it, wasn't really sci-fi. It was more of investigation. Look at the team. They were going around investigating murders and investigating all of that. That's Chris Chibnall's strength. So again, what I can't understand is, and this is another flaw of his and another thing that I criticise him for, well, why didn't he play to his own strengths and then play to Jodie Whittaker's strengths as well? And maybe this era wouldn't have been a complete shit show. That's the thing. He didn't play to his own strengths. He didn't play to her strengths. He didn't play to anybody's strengths. So how did he think this was going to work? So do the right thing. Get rid of this timeless child nonsense, right? Restore Gallifrey, because you shouldn't have destroyed it in the first place. After all of that time of trying to bring it back, you go and destroy it again. Bring back Gallifrey, right? And explain that the universe is being put back together because you've destroyed the whole universe. Right? I don't want this in a bubble. I don't want this to be bookended. I want this to be sorted out so we can move on to the next era. Right? I'll still move on either way, Marty. You will as well. And there's a couple of others out there that will. But this will always be in the back of me head. Just do the right thing, Chibnall. Just do the right thing. The right thing is to retcon this whole nonsense, and then we can ignore those ridiculous arguments and articles that said that the timeless children nonsense fit into canon. It never has fit into canon, and it never will fit into canon. And whether you like it or not, the general audience and Doctor Who fans will never accept the timeless children or the timeless child.
Well, I ideally would want it done away with. Of course I would. Don't get me wrong. But I just think this idea, like what Lee's saying, I think Lee sort of understands what I'm saying, is the fact that, this is like, it's sort of, what's the way to put it? I'm trying to sell it to you.
Yeah, Joe Martin's Doctor from another, the timeless child should be Joe Martin's Doctor from another universe, but he won't do that.
Oh, I know he won't do that. I know he won't. He's not clever enough to do that. He's not clever enough. He hasn't got the brain cells to do that.
That would actually make sense, Lee.
Yeah.
But you see,
my version of that is, I'm basically saying that, but what has happened, my headcanon and what I would want to see happen on screen is that she is the Doctor from another universe. And the events of flux or whatever, with the whole universe getting destroyed, has broken down the barriers between universes. And the information of Joe Martin being the Doctor has came into this universe and corrupted the Matrix on Gallifrey in this universe, which is why that's how the Master found out. So the whole idea being that the Doctor has to somehow reset the boundaries between universes, restore what's in the Matrix. So yes, the timeless child happened. Yes, she's the Doctor, but it's in another universe. So the Doctor has to go back, reset the Matrix as to how it was, and everything is as it was. It's completely gone. It's completely gone. So you can have it to say that yes, it exists, but it doesn't affect our Doctor. It's part of another Doctor and a different timeline that will never be mentioned again.
I don't see, because of what I've been hearing in the chat, and I've seen every time this topic is brought up, none of that is going to be good enough. And look, that is sad, because we will move on, and some of us will, and some fans are going to be left behind. But I will say this: they shouldn't have been left behind in the first place, but that's the situation we're in. If fans can't get past the timeless child and move on with RTD, well, then Chris Chibnall needs to make sure that it's retconned and give those fans what they want. Because look at, there's some that are adamant, no matter what he does, if he does a retcon this, they're not going to give RTD a chance. And I don't think RTD should be punished for the mistakes that Chibnall made. But unfortunately, that's what will probably happen. So he needs to, for those fans' sake, listen, I'm moving on. I'll watch it. You're watching it. Daniel's watching it. Even Lee is going to give it a go. We're all going to give it a go. But there will be fans out there that will just not until this is sorted out. So I hope he does. I don't want it in a bubble universe. I don't want it in an alternative universe, right? I just want it retconned, personally. Retcon it, and then if fucking RTD's plans to do this whole multiverse thing, then let him do a multiverse. Let him do it properly, right?
Yeah.
Because Chibnall can't, right? If anybody can do a multiverse thing, it would be him. Team Tard. Of course, BBC America have put up a picture of them on set on Legend of the Sea Devils. Mandip and Jodie hugging each other there and stuff. Who gives a shit? Nobody gives you a crap about your team Tardis. Gertrude's a tick score. And BBC America as well. That whoever's running, the admins that are running those accounts should be sacked. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. A total clear out needs to happen. We need to purge everything from this era. And that includes people that are working for Doctor Who magazine, people that have wrote articles for Radio Times. I'm talking about a full-blown purge. Get rid of them all, right? Because these people under RTT will just start their little agenda up again, but they'll go a different way about it this time. Get all the activists out. Every single one of them. If you're truly moving on, you get those activists out and you replace them with Doctor Who fans. Not activists that have an agenda. Oh, how many women were right for Big Finish? Or how many women are in Doctor Who? Why aren't women represented properly by Doctor Who? Get all those idiots out. Right? And put Doctor Who fans in there. Replace the time team with older fans and young fans. Give a mix. Tardis team, not a bunch of late 20-year-old, early 30-year-old fucking agenda-driven twats. Get rid of them all. Every single one of them. Right? Because recently we got one, Bet the Time lady, writing her stupid fucking articles again. Right? She's not a journalist. She never was a journalist. She's even admitted that she wasn't a journalist when I called her out a couple of years back. She's not a journalist, so stop giving people like that a platform. Right? If you want to hear from Doctor Who fans, well, then you go out and you seek those Doctor Who fans, not people that are driven by agenda and all of this other rubbish, right? I don't care what cause they support and shit, right? What I want people that know about what they're talking about Doctor Who, and these people clearly don't have a clue when they talk about Doctor Who. Imagine making an article saying that the Timeless Child fits into canon perfectly, yeah? When you haven't watched all of the classic era. Don't be giving me that bullshit. This is why. All this nonsense has to stop. All of these accounts need to be told. Your time is up with the BBC now. No more little handouts. No more little presents. You're done. Right? The show has to change. And a purge needs to be done. End the story. Because every single part of this toxic era needs to be cleaned out. Gone. And I don't care if any of her supporters are in here and they've heard what I said. She is one of the biggest facilitators of all of this fucking nonsense, right? And she needs to go, just like the rest of them. And yes, stay on BBC Sounds and do your Doctor Who redacted or whatever you want to call it. That's where you belong, right? BBC Sounds, where nobody will give a fuck, or where nobody will actually listen to your stupid little audio, right? And again, it's all agenda driven. All women in this audio. Oh, it's great to have an audio directed by women, starring women and women. Right? Women have always been part of Doctor Who, but she didn't like the women back then. So she's trying to erase history and change history. Women have always been a big part of this show, and have always been a big part of the fandom, no matter what you idiots say about safe spaces for women and all of this. We've never said that women are not welcome into this fandom. Nobody's ever said that, but you have put that rhetoric out for the last few years. That isn't true. So yes, a full purge needs to be done, and those people that spoke up against fans that didn't like this era need to be thrown out on their ear and actually bring people in that know what they're talking about. But unfortunately, I know RTD won't do that, but he will make sure that they talk. But even when they talk about the show, I want them gone. We cannot move on properly in this fandom if they're still there trying to represent this fandom, because they're not representing everybody. That's why I have a problem, right? They're not representing everybody, right? When they replaced that Tardis team with all those late 20, 30-year-olds, Crystal D, Ben Cook was the one that put that team together. That was the end of everything. Because you've seen what happened then. You've seen them come out. Now, some of them, fair play to them on the Tardis team, have never actually come out and slagged fans, but there were certain members that just couldn't keep their mouth shut. Beth was one of them, Crystal D was another, and Ben Cook was another. And then when they do get called out, what do? They play the victim. Oh, look, Noel from the Tardis sounds picking on me. I'm going to go off Twitter for a while now. Grow up. Anyway, go ahead, mate. I know you've been probably dying to say so, but I had to have that rant because this is what needs to happen, though, in reality, for this show to have every chance, in my opinion, of succeeding.
The thing is, Bad Wolf have full creative control.
Yeah.
Russell T. Davis, Julie Gardner, Jane Tranter, and another guy. I don't know if you know this yet, but this was sort of announced in the DL, not publicly. There's a guy called Joel Collins who give you a bit of backstory to him. He was the exec producer on his Dark Materials for Bad Wolf, and he was the production designer on most stuff, if not all, of the episodes of Black Mirror. He has come on board as an executive producer. So yeah, just I always knew that there was going to be somebody from Bad Wolf that comes on as an exec. So at the minute, that's a lot of Bad Wolf productions have like a lot of execs. I mean, if you look at his Dark Materials, there was like 8 execs on it, but obviously, you had your main writer. So like RTD will be showrunner. He will be the guy doing. It'll be him, Jane, and Julie, that are the 3 top dogs again. Like, but there will be a lot more execs. But if you look at the Bad Wolf show, like they appoint everything. They appoint social media. Like they have their own separate Twitter accounts. So the way you have your BBC Twitter accounts at the minute, Bad Wolf have their own Twitter accounts as well for programs. If you look at Bad Wolf's Twitter accounts, they have their own.
Yeah, well, if BBC, all I will say is, I don't want to cut Crash, but I'll make this brief. But all I will say is this: if BBC don't remove those people from the social media accounts I'm just going to be following the Bad Wolf social media accounts. If BBC studios have not learned from the lesson over the last 5 years, these admins that run these accounts need to go, because they have never done their jobs properly. And when people have been abused in the fandom, I've noticed though, when it's a J-bot or a Tasman stan, they will say something. But when it's a long-term fan, they've never opened their mouth. So I want those people removed, those admins removed, and replaced by people that actually know the history of the show and will actually put up posts that will inform people that have never watched the show. Give them little teasers, give them a bit of taste of the history, give them some fun facts about the show. That's what those social media accounts should be doing. But instead, they're plastering up pictures of Jodie and Yaz looking at each other this way and, Tasman and all this sort of rubbish.
Yeah.
They just need to stop, right? Listen, I'm going to make this point, right? Doctor Who's a sci-fi show, yeah? First of all, it's not a fucking agenda-driven fucking sex education show, right? It's a bloody sci-fi show. And if you can't do the sci-fi and you can't do the show, don't do it at all. And you know what? If they couldn't have got anybody to replace Moffat at the time and Chibnall was the only option, I'm going to say this right now, they should have put this show on hiatus and not given it to him. Go ahead, Marty. Oh, Marty's just gone off there.
No, I'm all right. I'm back.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, that's where I stand on it. You know what I mean? It's just as simple as fucking that. Like it's like, I don't know. This
is why I just say, I know people. It's frustrating for people. It's very frustrating for people. I know it's because people are passionate. But all I have to say, like from the stuff I'm allowed to say, the stuff I've seen, the stuff I'm throwing out, and the stuff I'm not allowed to say, I think it's going to be worth the wait. I think it's going to be worth it. To be positive. It's going to be worth it. It's definitely going to be worth it. We can only hope. We can only hope for the best.
Look, do I have any doubts RTD will deliver? No, I don't. I actually don't. Me issue. The one worry that I do have is, as you said, if the budget is rumored to be 60 million, right? This will be my only thing that I'll have an issue with, and it's tiny. Yeah. I'm afraid with that amount of money, obviously it will look good, right? But I don't want it too polished, because Doctor Who does have that charm. It does have, it is known for shaky and look at Chibnall's era. Maybe in a few years' time, we'll probably look back and say, oh yeah, that CGI was shy. It's Doctor Who. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was the same with RTD's era. We've looked back at it now, and it's aged in some places very badly, and in some of it, especially the start, the 4 series, but it has that charm about it. I don't want Doctor Who to lose its charm, because you got that amount of money. I just don't want them to go away from the ideals of what Doctor Who should be, even though you have all of this money.
I reckon it'll look very like, even if you don't watch it, go and have a look at like how episodes of his Dark Materials look, because that's what I reckon Doctor Who's going to look like. It's got more of a cinematic look to it, but it's not overly cinematic.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's not overly. It's just at that point where, yeah, the episodes look like a movie, his Dark Materials, but they're
well, they got substance to them. They're well written and have great characters. Everything that we want for Doctor Who.
That's it. Like that's
the difference. Yeah,
I'm just excited to see, like as I've said to you before, like as soon as we start hearing official stuff from the bird's mouth, like from the main guys themselves, like I think that's when everything will be heating up. But what I say is, set. I don't like saying this, but like set your expectations low, so that when something does come out, hopefully it'll exceed your expectations. But I don't mean that in the bad way. I'm just.
You know what though? I can't. Personally speaking, and I know you're saying that, but I know you'd be the same as me.
Yeah.
It's hard right now to kind of
Not be excited.
not to be excited and to keep me expectations at a reasonable level right here, right now. We're literally one episode to go now, right? We're maybe a week and a half away, maybe a week away from the announcement of the new Doctor. Maybe 2 weeks then after that, filming for the 60th anniversary. Listen, the next month is going to be the most exciting and excitement that we've had in this fandom. And wait, you see fans lose their shit. It's seriously, for 3 weeks from now is when the shit hits the fan, and where this whole fandom then is completely blown away. I'm telling you.
You only think I was mad the day RTD was announced? Can you imagine what I'm going to be like if David Tennant turns up?
Look, it's practically nailed on. Look, I spoke about this on the channel before. There's no point. Look, it's out there now, right? Even the newspapers have reported on it. Look, it's the worst kept secret in the Doctor Who fucking fandom and in the media, right? It's gonna happen. He's a sure in now. He's there. Listen, you're gonna bring back the most popular Doctor in New Who. Of course, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense, man. If RTD is gonna completely do something different for when he's serious, when he gets his first full series, the 60th is gonna be stuff that is gonna remind us of what we've had. You know, and a reminder of the old way of doing things. So I'm telling you, I wouldn't even be surprised if Matt Smith turns up and Peter Capaldi does a cameo, and it's all being kept under the. And this is not because I've heard. Logically, if you look at this, it's the 60th anniversary, right? Unless we're told he's not doing a multi-Doctor story, more than likely it's going to be a multi-Doctor story. Maybe that's why Chris Chibnall is doing his multi-companion story. Because the next one is going to be a multi-Doctor story. Listen, I'm under no doubts, man. And it's not because of what I've heard. It's the worst kept secret in the fucking industry right now that David Tennant is returning. We know he's returning. And the media have even spoken, even Radio Times, they know what's happening. They know what's happening. Now, whether Jodie regenerates into him or whether she regenerates into the new Doctor, or whether she regenerates and we don't see the end, that's the thing that we're all trying to figure out right now.
We know Tennant's back. As I've said to you in the private chat, I know some details of where in the timeline this story's set, but I can't say them publicly yet.
No, but I don't think it's set in any timeline. Yeah. I think that Reddit rumor that put out there might actually have a spot on. I think this is going to be all inside Jodie Whittaker's Doctor's head. I really do. I think when she regenerates, that's what the 60th is going to be. I think it's going to be, kind of flashbacks in her mind of doctors and maybe helping her out to try something's happened or regeneration or something. I don't want that to be part of the 60th, but let's be honest, it would I wouldn't like to see her in the 60th. I want to make that clear, right? I don't think she should be in the 60th, but she is the current Doctor right now. It would seem a bit fucking strange, right? And I don't want to hear it, well, it's too soon excuse, right? No, she's the current fucking Doctor right now. She's supposed to be in the 60th. Right? Yeah. I mean, Matt Smith was only the Doctor a wet day when we had the 50th anniversary, and he led the 50th anniversary. So even though I don't want her in it, she in all reality she should be in it. But we'll see. Look, we're going to be speculating over the next few weeks. Hopefully, in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks' time, we'll know who our Doctor is, Doctor 14, and then we can then get excited. And look, I think it's nailed on as well. Just like as Charlotte said, it's a shoe in that David Tennant. I agree, and I think it's nailed on.
Yeah, that's it.
That the next Doctor is a bloke.
I'm gonna have to run because I have a cinema date tonight, so I'm gonna have to literally speed in the road 90 mile an hour.
No bother. Have me roast chicken on there. Cheryl was saying, are you putting the chicken on? Are you putting the chicken on? So I've put the chicken on. So there you go.
Yep.
But listen, Marty, yeah, I know you've been busy, obviously, with uni and stuff,
Yep.
working. But whenever, don't leave it too long the next time, obviously.
No bother at
It'd be
all.
nice to see you.
You'll see me at some stage, I'm sure. Over the
Yeah,
next few
not a
months.
bother. Oh, of course we will, because as soon as there's announcements, we'll be straight on it as well. So I'm pretty sure that's when you'll start streaming on your new channel then.
Yeah,
Properly.
That's it.
That's
Hey,
it.
now that I'm finished for uni for the summer, my time's a lot freer. So yeah, keep an eye out because MCTV will be finally landing. We'll be
Yeah.
finally landing in the next few weeks.
One episode to go, folks. One episode to go.
One episode to go, and then the golden era, or not?
And then hopefully the pain and the misery is over, and we can actually look forward and enjoy Doctor Who now every week when it comes on. That's all I've ever wanted. All I've wanted is to be able to sit down and enjoy Doctor Who, watch it with the wife, and to have a laugh, to have some fun with it. You know, to be engrossed in it. Haven't had that for 5, and that's the one thing that I've lost. Me and Cheryl have actually lost. That was our connection. That's how we got together. Was Doctor Who, and for us, it's been pretty tough because the show has been bad. I mean, we had a kind of a Tardis box ring for the rings, for the wedding rings. So it was a little blue box. It was with the rings in it, and it looked like Tardis with Gallifrey stuff on it. Cheryl had picked it up. It was nice. So we incorporated Doctor Who into our marriage because we were both fans of Doctor Who. So for us not to be able to sit down and watch episodes together these last 5 years, we've tried, but it just doesn't work out because we do be like, you know, we can't just sit in silence and watch it. One of us has to say something, and most of the time it's me. But there you go. But that I just want to be able to get back and sit down and watch Doctor Who with the missus and actually just enjoy it, and then by the end of it actually say, "Sure, that was great, wasn't it?"
Yeah,
you know.
That's it.
But Marty, do your channel shout outs before you leave.
No bother. You will find me on MCTV. I'm sure somebody will probably get linked it somewhere. I don't know where.
PD has put it in already.
Yeah.
There you go.
And there's the link for there's the MCTV Twitter account too. So on that is at MCTV_online, I believe it is. I haven't been on it much.
I'm pretty sure one of our mods will get a hold of
MCTV_online. That's where you will find me over there because I'm sort of trying to keep the other Twitter account for uni stuff and friends, like close friends and stuff like that. So I'm trying to separate the Doctor Who life from the personal life.
That's it. That's it.
But that's it. But anyway, I will go and I will speak to you soon. And thanks for having me on.
Not about it. It was nice having you on. Nice to hear from you again. Anyway, I should have just put the Tardis on talks, Legend of the Sea Devils, and Rumour Chat with Marty. I might have to change the name of the stream, but there you go. But thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I'll let you go because, as I said, we don't want you driving too fast. So go on, do what you have to do. And we'll see you soon.
Speak to you later. Bye.
Right. Well, I think we've kind of said everything that we could say. But listen, it's wrapped up now. No more talking about this episode. Now I'm done. Yeah. I mean, look, as I said, we're probably a few weeks away from some announcements now. So it's something to look forward to. But remember, we do have that centenary in October, and we will be here, obviously, for the watch along. Then we'll have our panel, and then we'll have our final Tardis Zone talks on this era, and then that'll be it. Then we'll be moving on. Well, we'll already be moved on by then because obviously we'll know some of the RTD stuff. But you know what I mean. We'll be finally clear of this era, and we can look forward to the future, and hopefully RTD delivers, and we can have a show where we can all be proud, be proud of it again, and a show that actually entertains us. And that's what this particular era has forgotten to do, is entertain its audience. It decided very early on that it was going to preach to its audience and slam its audience. And that's why it went from 12 million overnights for The Woman Who Fell to Earth to overnights of 2.2 million tuned in for the latest episode. So, again, I would say to those people that have been spinning the ratings, I know you have finally come to their senses, but from 12 million viewers, from 12.2 million viewers to basically 2.2 million viewers, you've lost 10 million of your audience. Now, the excuses we've heard over the years, our TV habits have changed and all of that other stuff. It's Chris Chibnall's fault because he put it on this day, this holiday, or whatever. The excuses are over. 10 million people walked away from this era, right? And it doesn't matter what the reasons were. That's irrelevant now. Doesn't matter whether it was a female doctor or whether it was this, that, and the other that contributed to it, right? 10 million people have walked away, right? That includes fans and your general audience and your casual viewers that used to tune in. 10 million people, right? So I'll ask those people that said TV habits change. When are those 10 million people going to watch? In 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time? Is our argument, and you know it now because you're starting to change your tune on Twitter and on his YouTube channels. But this whole argument that you have had over the last 5 years has been completely and utterly the myth that this era is successful has been completely smashed. Unfortunately, this show did not capture the wider audience appeal. And that's down to the showrunner, the decisions he made, and the fact that he decided that for his last series and these specials, he was going to pander to a certain minority of this fandom. And it's shown. And that's the problem, right? They bang on about how good this show is. Well, if it's so good, how come only 2.2 million of you tuned in? If it's that good. And someone said, oh, let's wait and see what the catch-up is. The figure might be better, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it gains 1 million or 2 million or 3 million viewers after the fact, right? It doesn't matter. It's still pretty poor, right? It's still pretty poor for a special. So the excuses have been all used up now, right? The reality of the situation is that this show was a failure on all levels, and it doesn't matter what the reasons are, it failed to capture the public's imagination. And at the end of the day, you guys out there that were hammering fans like me, the media hammering fans like me, calling us this, that, and the other, bow your heads in shame because yous all facilitated this. And the reason why we're in this position, as I said, that most yous were more concerned about yous are sponsorships. Yous were afraid to come out and say anything bad against the BBC or Chris Chibnall because yous didn't want to ruin yous our chances to get yous a little interviews, right? No more sitting on the fence with this era, right? It's time to come out, and this should have been done a long time ago, by the way. You should have all come out and spoke up against it. But you've allowed Chris Chibnall to do what he did for the last. So I don't just blame Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker and co. I blame you fans out there that supported this era and wouldn't tell the truth about it. And I blame the media too. Yous are all responsible for this downfall. And remember, as I said, I will never forget that. And you guys are responsible. Don't blame us because I know that's what you will do. Well, it's not my doctor's fault that they didn't. We watched, but still not good enough. Doesn't matter what we said or what we did. You guys had the more powerful voices in the fandom, and you were telling this fandom that this era was a success, right? And it's been proven to be a lie. So you guys are just as responsible as Whittaker and as Chris Chibnall, and I'll never forgive you for that one, right? You should have come out and told people how you truly felt about this show, and not sit on the fence and say, I'm not going to say that, but as soon as someone said that bad about it, then you would jump on their backs, right? No more fence sitting. You come out and you tell it as it is. Chris Chibnall failed Doctor Who fans. He failed Jodie Whittaker, right? And he failed every other actor and actress that he brought onto this show, right? But his biggest crime is failing this fandom and failing this show. And he should be, seriously, he should be ashamed of himself. And Piers Wenger doesn't get away with it either because he employed him. But that's how I feel about it. It's not just Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall and Piers Wenger's fault. It's all of you journalists that supported this era, which is our articles attacking fans like me. And you guys, you fans that have supported this and defended this era, even though you know that it hasn't been good, you are responsible as well. So I hope you are happy. I hope you are proud of yourselves, because all the pandering, all the inclusion, all the diversity that you were harping on about and banging, trying to drum into fans has backfired on you. See, Chris Chibnall did it all wrong. He decided to put agenda before story, whereas RTD did it the other way around. Story first, and then whatever agenda or social issue he wanted to tackle, he would do it properly within that storyline. Chris Chibnall just shoehorns it in, just like he did with Tasman, just like he did with Captain Jack, just like he did with the Sea Devils and all the other stuff that he shoehorned into this era. He's an absolute disgrace, and you guys are a disgrace for supporting him. And with that, I'm going to leave it there and say thank you, everybody, for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, there'll be plenty of other stuff coming up over the weekend and over the next few weeks, especially with all of this RTD stuff. And if I get any more rumors in the meantime, ones that sound like there could be some truth in them, I will throw them up there for you as well. Diversity of everything except thought or talent. That's it. Look, nobody gives a shit about diversity, right? Thing about it is, if you want to have diversity in the show, grant, but do it properly. This is the thing about the Chibnall era. He's never done it properly. RTD did it properly, and to a certain extent, Moffat did as well. But Moffat was forced to put some things in his era that he didn't actually want to put in. This is why I'm actually delighted that Bad Wolf Studios has taken over, because RTD's his own man and he's fully in charge. Anyway, remember, Noel, remember when you make chicken dinner, you have always leave a place for a problem being two, says Chris. Cheers, Noel. Take care. Looking forward to RTD. Yeah, listen, so am I. But I'll leave it there. I'm gonna keep an eye on me roast chicken now. And Lee actually asked what my obsession is with roast chicken. I told you I love it, but chicken is cheap. So, we get a chicken, it's a $5, and then a couple of vegetables, roast potatoes, and you got yourself a dinner, and you don't have to eat the whole chicken. You can store the rest of it away, and then you can do a chicken pasta kind of thing then the next day. So, yeah, that's what we do, So there you go. Right, I'm going to leave it there. That's a weird way to end the bleeding stream, isn't it? Talking about chicken. But look, no, seriously, appreciate all the support. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will be back. Someone did ask when the watch-alongs are coming back. Listen, I haven't decided yet. Right now, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing right now. And I'm on a bit of a look, I'm going to be out straight here. Right now, I'm enjoying what we're doing right now. I'm not saying I don't enjoy the watch-alongs and stuff like that, but the thing about it is, these are the kind of streams that I do actually like doing a lot more. As I said, we've nearly done. We've done Classic Who a lot now. I'm not saying they're gone. They're not gone. It's just I won't be doing them as often as we used to do them, because there's other stuff that we're going to be talking about, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out about RTD, and there's just too many things to squeeze in. And I am going to be doing, obviously, the Blake 7, and that's priority right now. So, but I will, as we're nearly finished the Ghostbusters thing, I might finish Ghostbusters Afterlife in the next week or two. And then we do have Sonic the Hedgehog planned as well. But we'll get that done when I get Big Finish, or not Big Finish, when I finish off the Blake 7 watch along in honor of Alpha. So that's first. So there won't be watch alongs. Basically, there won't be watch alongs for a while. And now I'll stop doing them because he doesn't want me on stream anymore, says LOL. That's not true. You're more than welcome on anytime, you know that. Look, to be honest, I'm just a bit burnt out at the moment with the watch alongs. You know, we've done a lot. We've done a lot over the years. If you go and look at the channel, we've done loads, right? We used to have the movies on and all of that. We've done loads. I just need a break from them for a while. And I like doing these streams anyway. Sonic the Hedgehog is great. Go and watch the second part. Even though it's on that thing that we do watch, it's actually a very good copy. Go and watch the second part because it's absolutely brilliant. I actually watched the Batman before we go. We watched the Batman. I'll watch the Batman eventually. So this is the way I'm looking at it is, did I enjoy it more than the Dark Knight trilogy, the two Michael Keaton films, and the Val Kilmer movie? No. Was Robert Pattinson bad as Batman? No. Horrible Bruce Wayne. Catwoman wasn't as bad as everybody made her out to be. I wasn't a fan of Zoe Kravitz anyway, but she didn't do too bad. She didn't annoy me. Don't get me wrong, I understand what this movie was supposed to be, but to me, it was like a cheap version of Seven, trying to do a detective Batman story, which was nice to see, don't get me wrong, but I just found it was too long, and it was boring in places, but there were some good scenes in it, but it's not a bad Batman movie, it's just not a Batman movie that I really am into. And I know some fans are, which is fine, fair enough. But I don't think Anton can look at. And I will say this though: the people that are comparing this and trying to say that this is better than the Dark Knight trilogy, you're on drugs, because it's not better than the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm sorry, it's definitely not better than the Dark Knight, and it's not better than Batman. And it's not better than Batman Returns. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. But. It wasn't a bad movie. It's just not my cup of tea of a Batman movie. So that's what I'll say about that. But that's where I'm going to leave it now anyway, because I did say I was leaving 10 minutes ago. I keep doing the same thing every stream. Anyway, good night, folks. Have a good one. Might squeeze another stream in later. We'll see. I have been sent a couple of things. We'll see if they're actually worth talking about first. That'd be the main thing. I just don't want to come on for the sake of coming on, obviously. We'll see if it's worth talking about, and if it is, then I'll be back later on. It'll be a late night stream, by the way, though, because it's 8 o'clock now. I'm going to have some dinner and chill for a while, so we'll see. Right, see you later. Here's the trailer. Good night, folks. Thank you for watching. This has been the Tardis Zone Talks. We'll see you soon. It'd be great if I just press the button.